Hey guys, what's going on? It's Kevin Lee here, and guess what happened in the house today?
What's up?
All right, it's an honor to be here with you, sir. And then I have a lot of questions about sidekick, and then of course the way how to set it up, how to train it properly, and how to use them in sparring. Because I suck at sidekick.
Sidekick is definitely my favorite, but you know, of course, sidekicks don't work. So if you know that, you know that. Yeah. But so yeah, what kind of questions do you have? Sidekicks.
So how do you train a sidekick properly?
For like the mechanics of it. So for me, I think the best way to throw a sidekick is to have your knee in the opposite direction of wherever you're kicking.
Okay.
So like angle wise, same way you would do with the punch. This is your foot. This is your knee.
Correct.
You don't punch like this. You don't punch like this. You punch like this. So if I'm kicking your leg, I want my knee to be in the opposite direction of the angle that I'm going. If I'm doing the same thing to the body, that's where I'm going. But the main thing is I pull my knee into me, I point my heel at you, and then I'm driving with both legs at the same time.
Boom.
And turning and looking over my shoulder.
So you don't stay square?
No, it's very hard to stay square.
Okay.
It's the same kick as a front kick. The only difference is you turn everything.
So your body do turn on the side?
Yeah, so if I'm throwing a front kick, a teep, my knee comes up, I push.
Correct.
It's a little bit more difficult because my knee is up in the air, which means I can't hit with my heel. But it's the same kick. I just have turned over.
Oh, nice.
And then I go extend with both at the same time, just like you would do with a teep. Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, that's like the basic, like my knee is bent, my knee is over top, pointed to my opposite shoulder, and then I drive with my butt first and my hamstring, boom, and I push, hit with my heel. Some people hit with the blade of the foot. It's kind of up to you and what you're trying to do. If I'm gonna go line with the ribs, sometimes I'll go blade of the foot.
When you go blade, do you turn your foot like this?
Yeah, pinky toe almost down a little bit,
wow.
and I'm trying to go out. If my foot was my hand, like this.
So like this way.
Yeah.
Do you point your toe downwards?
So if I'm more sideways, my toe will point down. If I'm like trying to throw hands a little bit more, and I want to keep like a little bit more guard conscious, and I want to look at you, my toes will go up a little bit more, and it kind of turns into a side teep. But essentially, the side kick is just the front kick. You're just turning more. So like I can go like this, I can go like this, I can go like this, and the more that I turn, it's all the same kick. I'm just kind of rotating more as I go.
That's interesting.
So if I'm like already like this and I want to keep you super far away from me, boom,
you'll side kick me.
And I'll keep it there and I'll have my toes down and I'll really be rotated. This way, if you're coming in and you're somebody who blitzes, but I can push you away and be gone, cover up my head and not have to worry about it as much, or I can just bolt out. But if I want to face you and I want to like walk you down, I'll turn my hips a little bit more. If you have enough hip dexterity, you can kind of be like this, or even like this, which is not like how you would usually throw a side kick, and still kind of like
get the extension.
Because my hips can do some funky things
you can do after like this with hips.
After like 24, 25 years of kicking. But on average, wherever this foot is, usually this foot will go in the same spot.
Nice.
As you kick.
So similar to like the side kick, I guess in the JKD or Wing Chun, we have side kick, but it's taught differently.
Okay.
Because in Wing Chun, like our side kick is more so like we actually point the knee up, and the very last second before we make the contact, we will turn. Okay. Horizontal. Okay. So it looks like that.
Okay, got it.
So it's
still with the front leg here. If you're doing a couple,
just like that.
To the leg mostly.
Mostly.
Probably not kicking up to the body though, right?
Not exactly.
So I feel like that's fine because it is knee in the opposite spot. If you were gonna do that and then kick up to like the head or the body, now my foot has to travel up as I go, which is kind of like the opposite. If I chamber up, let me think. If I'm chambering up and then I want to kick, it makes sense to kick down. Yeah. Because I'm extending my leg. Correct. But now I'm extending it and rolling it and flicking it and then coming up. I feel like it's a little more difficult.
The travel distance is weird.
The travel distance is very weird. It takes like some funky mechanics to get there. If I'm kicking down, it makes total sense.
How often do you guys kick down?
In our karate style, we didn't really kick to the legs at all.
Okay,
it was kind of like a more Americanized, sporty karate that had traditional roots in the kata and stuff like that. But a lot of the sparring was very similar to what you would see in sport karate.
Correct.
So we didn't kick to the legs a bunch. Now, I do every now and then. I'm usually pretty sparing with it. I'm what you would call a recreational martial artist. I do it for fun. I spar. I like to pretend I fight. That's about it. But, yeah, I mean, you could absolutely do this. and if I go like this, the only difference is if my knee is already sideways here, it means that I'm probably already sideways. If you're like this, and then you turn it over at the last second, it's because this was your starting point.
Correct.
So in order to throw the side kick, which you would want to do against the leg, because you don't want to meet your leg, which is vertical, with a vertical foot too.
Correct.
You have more chance of missing. You turn sideways and then push. So if I'm already starting here and I want to get sideways, I have to turn.
Makes sense.
It makes a lot of sense that it would be done that way.
You're increasing the surface tension or surface contact point.
Yeah, exactly. My main issue is when people pick their foot up and then or their knee up straight and then they kick up. So it kind of has to loop.
That's pretty cool.
After they've already chambered. That's not my favorite. Actually, I already deleted the video where I roast that so you won't find it. But
there's a kick in savate that we train. It's called chasse.
Okay.
Which is, are you familiar with savate?
I'm familiar with the word.
Savate is a French kickboxing.
Okay.
So the side kick that we do usually it's a long distance or like it can be mid range, right?
Yeah.
But the motion looks like this, like that.
Oh.
We call it chasse.
That looks super similar to me. Go ahead, do it again.
Yeah. So the idea is you can chamber. Now, correct. There's two types of form, right? If I want to be super correct on a form, I will do this.
Very taekwondo-y.
Right? They will do a lot of motion with the hand like this.
Yep.
And then the foot comes up and swing like that. They will use a lot of sliding motion. Boom, side kick.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So it's like you're winding everything up and then going.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of the slide.
Yeah. In savate, we do a lot of sliding.
Yeah.
Even the round kick, it looks like this.
Oh yeah.
We slide like that a lot. Across the floor.
That's crazy. That's like I much prefer a slide. I have a small thing against the pendulum step.
This?
Because I think so many people do it for higher kicks. I think a lot of the issue that I have with kicks is people do stuff for higher kicks that are designed for lower kicks.
Okay.
So like if I'm like this and I go like this, bang, 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 like that's fair.
Yeah,
like,
that's fair.
I'm not putting myself at a disadvantage. I'm trying to like tap.
Yeah.
If I go like this, people think that this is like a big power generator for head kicks, but I'm kind of like leaning away from it a bit. It makes it, I'm kind of like taking away. As much as it makes your foot go up there way easier though, which is why people tend to do it. It's because I can be like this and be like,
boom,
and then go.
Yeah.
Rather than going step, go, or
come back,
slide, which kind of like puts my body into you rather than throwing my body back. But that's like a complete, I just kind of ran away with a different thing that you didn't even mention. Anyway, the savate thing is very interesting though. Because also in a style of sport karate where it's like very lead leg heavy, where I can go like this and like this.
That's one thing I realized sparring with the karate guys. That lead leg is like pop, 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 pop everywhere.
It's everywhere, right. And by going like this, you think hook kick, which is very similar to what savate does.
Yeah.
Ooh,
that's
and then
cool.
they drive it through, because if you see something on this side,
you tend to block.
You're like, huh, boom. I do that all the time without like the, right? But I do it more so in this space.
That's very interesting.
Rather than back here. This space rather than back here. Instead of going like this, I go like this.
Nice.
And it's still me pulling my body weight that way.
Yeah.
And sliding.
Very interesting.
Just in a different
I see
spot.
a lot of similarities.
That's very cool.
Because in savate, like we box, so we put the guys backwards.
Yeah.
As soon as you back up, once you create a distance, that's when the sliding comes in.
Yeah.
Once you back up, I can either savate, like I can do a side kick, round kick, or even like front kick.
Yeah.
But there's a sliding motion that comes with it.
I'm a big fan of sliding. I'm going to have to look at savate a bit more.
You'll love it.
It's cool.
Check out Professor Nicholas Soniak. That's my savate teacher.
Where are they?
He is in LA.
Okay, I'm coming.
Next time.
Nicholas, I'm on my way.
Yeah. Okay, so how do you apply your side kick in sparring? Because that's my challenge.
Yeah, so in my opinion, it is a great technique to get somebody when they are coming in and punching. I primarily use my side kick against guys who are like hanging out here, they're getting frustrated, they start to come in with punches, boom. And then I kind of like let them run into my spear. So I'm like this. They don't know I'm like this. I am. Maybe I'll go like that a little bit. But primarily they're like, okay, I'm just gonna eat it. Hopefully he doesn't have his foot out. Boom, and then they get caught.
Okay.
Which is like how you'll see most people who get hurt by a side kick will be people who are like coming in.
That's a good, I have a good question. Maybe it's a stupid question too. For all the small guys out there like me, right?
Yeah.
I feel like sometimes when I do my side kick, I get jammed.
Okay.
against a bigger guy.
Yeah.
Boom! I get caught, and then I fall backwards.
So your range is different. It makes it tough.
Yeah.
Because for me, my range, like, you can't touch me from where I can land a side kick.
True.
If you feel like you're getting jammed, my rule of thumb is if you feel like you're getting jammed or you're pushing yourself back, either your foot isn't planted or you're too close. So like if I'm like this, and I'll just have you hold my foot. If you come in and I land it, keep coming, like this, it doesn't matter how strong I am, I'm not pushing you from here. I'm pushing myself. Now, if this foot isn't based super well, like let's say I'm like this.
A little lighter.
And I land my side kick. I'm still pushing myself back because my foot is on the wrong side of my hip. Usually, are you getting jammed and you're getting stuck there, or are you getting jammed and you're throwing yourself? Which one of the two?
Usually I get more so like I lose my balance after I side kick them.
Which direction?
Backwards.
Backwards. Okay. So usually then it is the base foot. Let me see your stance if we're moving around. You're throwing a side kick. Okay. So base foot is a little too close to us. If you put your base foot back a bit more.
Oh, that back?
Yes. Now do it.
Oh,
so now you have something to push off of.
That's cool.
So if I'm doing a side kick, like I mentioned, I want to push with both parts of my leg. I want to be able to push here and here. Let's hop on the bag real quick. So if I'm throwing a side kick and my foot is right here, this isn't a super heavy bag. If I throw it, I might be able to make the impact of just my top leg on the bag.
Yeah.
But I have nothing that's going on with this one.
Correct.
I can't hold myself here. If I put my foot further back, now I have something to push off of. Kind of like my whole body going like this against this bag.
So you're essentially creating sort of like this angle.
Yes.
Like you have anchor and you have a drive.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Like if
That's
you see like the fake walls that are up on like production sets or something, how they have that one 2x4 in each spot. This leg is a 2x4 that's holding me up. Right? So by doing this and putting my leg here instead of here, I can give myself more base. So you give it a shot.
That's a good one. I like that.
All you got it.
That's
you
cool.
can switch feet if you want. Are you right-handed, left-handed?
I can do both.
Whichever one. Yeah,
okay,
cool.
So primarily, you don't want this. So you don't want 90 degree.
Most likely, the reason you're getting pushed back after just seeing that little thing, is because your stance is a little bit closer together.
Yes.
So if your stance is closer together, then naturally, like your foot's gonna be closer, more underneath you.
So wider stance.
A wider stance when you're doing it. Yes. Now,
you
don't slide quite as much. You want
that's hard.
Get to an end point where you're making contact and hang out there for a second.
Boom.
Knee bent a little bit more, hip in and down.
In and down.
Now turn it over like this. That's it.
Oh wow.
So you want to really be
on the side.
Your hip has to be between your foot and the back.
Between the foot and the back.
Yeah. So you don't want your foot being inside of this hip. If I drew a straight line down, my hip is outside. If I drew a straight line down, my hip is inside.
That's gonna take some practice. Because I'm so used to like stay tall and boom, kick like that.
Yeah, go kick from down to up.
Down to up?
Yeah,
like
now
that.
you don't have to kick high, but if my body is lower and I'm kicking up, I'm gonna be able to have more stability, rather than kicking up to down to the body. Yes,
hard.
Turn that toe over more.
More?
Yep, how about this? Better, your foot kind of slid underneath you.
Yeah.
It's a bit of the savate.
Yeah.
Which is the sliding.
Correct.
You can slide, but it's gotta be after you are
making contact.
So if you slide with like this intention, which is kind of like how savate goes a bit, where they kind of slide and they come up. Think slide, but go like this.
Slide, but go.
So,
but you want
your leg. So your leg is gonna go like this.
Wow. That's okay. So my leg, so in other words, you're projecting with your legs.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, let me see. So you lift.
So right off the bat.
Oh, that's hard.
Better. Here,
that's hard.
Right off the bat, start off super sideways. Pick your knee up to your opposite shoulder. Now, turn this foot out right now.
Like that.
Now from here, turn and go.
Turn and go. Oh.
Yeah. Now, let's get a little bit closer so you don't have to slide at all.
Okay.
Here, pick that foot up to the opposite shoulder. Now go. Yes.
Wow.
And you keep going that way.
There you go. Boom.
Yes. So even now, you can feel yourself kind of like hopping back a bit.
It
takes a while. You have to be pretty sideways to be able to get like a good side kick that drives somebody through and not push yourself back. It's just like so in the teep, I can't have my foot be in front of me.
Yeah.
It's the same concept. Yes, but because you're turning, you're longer, which means your foot has to be further back.
Correct.
So it has to be somewhere back here to be able to launch it.
I see that foot.
Yeah,
Angle.
It's angled, it's out here. My hip, even if it starts back here, by the time I land the kick, I want it to be inside.
Oh, wow.
Which takes a bit of dexterity, it takes some time to get used to for sure, especially if your stance is different.
That's gonna break some habits of mine. Because my habits, I always want this to be straight to keep my balance.
Yeah, right. Well, it's not like it's a bad habit to have.
Yeah.
It's just a habit that makes it hard to side kick.
Correct.
We're gonna do something, don't touch my foot.
Don't touch your foot.
Yeah, don't step on my foot specifically.
All right,
I'm gonna be super upset if you step on my foot.
All right, I'll buy you dinner if I do.
That's fine. Okay, good. Yes.
Oh, wow.
See how you're not falling back? Do it again. Go now.
Oh, man.
Good, on its way back in. Ready? Because this is usually how it's going to go. Something's going to be on its way back in. Yes, good again. Toes pointed over a little bit more.
More? Okay.
Yep.
So here.
Toes down.
Oh, toes down?
Yes, toes down. Just like this one. Yeah, that was good.
Woo.
That was really good. That's going to be the goal, is to have something coming in, and you can be here, and I can go and sit down on it. Now, granted, there's a weight difference between you and I.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit easier for me to move something or stop something.
Correct.
Just by the sheer weight. But it does have something to do with the fact that my foot is here, and I'm bracing. It'd be like if somebody was pushing you from this direction, and I was your buddy, and I was standing behind you. Somebody was trying to push you towards me.
Like this?
Right? And if I was standing like this, I'm not helping you at all.
Correct.
Even now, I'm a little bit bigger, so I might be able to help a little bit. But if I'm like this,
a lot stronger.
I'm your back leg. You're like your body.
Correct.
Right? If I'm like this, and my back foot is right here, and somebody pushes,
We're both false.
we're both fall.
Makes sense.
Hopefully that helps a little bit.
That helps a lot, actually.
Okay, cool. Now it's a style thing, it's a stance thing, but it's one of the reasons that people mess up side kicks a bunch because they see a cool kick and they're like, oh, I want to be able to do that, but you have to be in a specific spot to be able to do it. That makes sense.
That is very cool. So I guess one is you have to have a good mechanic, right? And of course, doesn't matter what you study.
Yeah, of course.
Two is you got to have a very good training procedure in how you aim, how you kick, and how you set it up.
Right.
What's your favorite setup in sparring?
Let somebody eat it. Literally just somebody's coming in and they, like a side kick, something I can land absolutely whenever I want. Even if it lands on the arm and they're coming like this, if I wanted to just spam side kicks all day, I could, because as long as I can keep you far away enough, I can hit you with a side kick.
Yeah.
It either moves me or it moves you. But usually what I like to do is if somebody's like trying to, with a sport karate style, people get super frustrated with me, as like in a Muay Thai gym, and eventually they'll be like, I'm just gonna go. And then as they come in, I go, bam. That's like my favorite setup. I think it's super basic.
Yeah.
It's very efficient. It's super sound. But I do have some other ones where I'll go boom, bang, and then throw it, because people check a lot. So if you check,
oh, nice.
Or I'll even get super sneaky and I'll go like this as you check.
That's so close to Savate.
It's very similar.
close to
It makes a
Savate.
lot of sense.
That is so cool.
The scoop and the different things that we do.
Yeah.
Because, just like you mentioned, if you go like this, like it means that you are using your body, your leg, to slide you as you go. You can do a couple things as you slide, like before and after, like you can go like this, and then slide after. But yeah, it all just kind of sets up the lead leg.
There's a very cool technique that I was doing stuff with Professor Nick. There's one thing that he does with this, he'll slide, he'll pull, and a side kick that same leg. So my body went forward, but I try to stop. As soon as I stop, he'll side kick my hip.
That's wild.
Then he just pulls like that and boom, side kick.
That's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
That's like what I just did, but to a completely different level of difficulty and
He
reps.
hooks my leg from here to kick and pull, and then bam, bounce it up, and then he'll go kick.
That's crazy.
Yeah, he's just like a hook.
To be able to go super fast.
Yeah.
For people who don't know, to be able to go super fast, stop, and then come in the opposite direction, with your leg being
Yeah.
way out here, it takes so much hip strength, leg strength, just like the concept of knowing what your body is doing the whole time. That's crazy.
Yeah, his foot is like hands.
It's like another hand. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's wild.
So that reminds of me a lot like Sabat, where your foot just pop, 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 pop.
Yeah.
Combined with that side kick.
I'm gonna have to give. In Sabat, do they have a title?
A title? Like, what do you mean? Like, we'll call it professor.
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 I'm gonna have to give Professor Nick a shout.
Yes.
Okay,
Check
cool.
him out. Okay. Well, thanks so much for today.
Thank you.
Learned so much about sidekick, and I'm gonna try to like apply this, train this, and I'm gonna drill this and spar with one of the guys at the academy. So
Ooh.
you guys watch out.
Yes, check that out.
Check it out. All right. Thank you for today,
Thank you,
Sensei.
sir.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely.